What? What happened?
No, sorry, pardon me, no. No, Tere!
Stop right now.
Welcome. Got that music playing in the background.
Are you gonna leave it on?
Yeah, at this level, I think, because when it's on the stream, it's much lower. I can hear it quite at a good volume. We're settling in. We get the sound doesn't
Shit is falling already. Like everything is falling apart.
Oi, mates, what's up? We're getting settled in here.
Yeah.
We're cool. We got the stream set up. We're doing here. Got a little delay until we see there. I can come a little closer to Sille. There we go. That's good. Good. Okay, we're getting settled in. We got the wine. We thank you everyone for tuning in. This is another Friday afternoon with Louis and Sille-Kadri. Thank you for coming in, Sille, again.
Always. I don't have a life still.
Yes, you do. You were just telling me how you went to our birthday party yesterday and it was great.
It was like one party in 2 months. Like
That's it. That's it. That's all we need. One party in 2 months. That's all it's going to take.
Oh, it was so great. I was so happy. I was just like, I want to leave.
To talk to people again, to actually...
I was like, yeah, I love everybody. Everybody's my best friend.
Oh my God.
It was so great.
Look at these fucking Estonians. They spent a couple of weeks inside and then all of a sudden they're like, I love all the people. Everybody.
There was literally like 5 people who talked to me, like strangers. Like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Are you here for the birthday party? What's up? I was like, are you local?
Bitch, please. Yeah, right. Yeah. Are they speaking Estonian?
Yeah.
Oh, then you're like, are you local? Well, possibly. Are you the most advanced foreigner who somehow snuck into the country with the borders being closed?
There was like 3 Finnish people.
Okay, all right. You'll see.
I was like, damn, I haven't heard Finnish in such a long time. I was like,
everything is seeming good right now.
Yeah,
Finnish is good.
It sounded exotic. Like, I'm not joking.
That's how it begins, Sille. You've been there before. Okay, that's how it begins. Oh, you'll see his accent. Oh, it sounds nice. And then...
How dare you? No, I have standards nowadays, honey. No.
The Marge Simpson voice again. Wait.
Which one?
Which one?
Which one of us is Marge Simpson?
Hers or me? I don't know.
I haven't drank that much that I'm...
True. We got that. And what are we... Let's see what we're... Today, we're drinking Maori Bay Sauvignon Blanc from I can't say that word, Marumba in New Zealand. It's a New Zealand wine. Now, remember what I said last week? I said that if you're buying Australian wines and they've got like a kangaroo or some Aboriginal art on there or some like stereotype shit, don't buy it because it's like we don't buy that shit in Australia. Now, having said that, this does fit the criteria of stereotype shit about New Zealand people. Maori, a turtle, that sort of signia. So I've just gone against all my own advice. But it's nice.
It's for free, so that's my favorite. You know? Oh, I was so pissed last time. Not last time, but 2 times ago. Like the week before last week, whatever. So 2 weeks ago when we were doing this episode. And I had my red lipstick on as always. And the thing was, like I told you, like, okay, so... see you next week. And I went out and I got like a takeaway to take home just because I was hungry. And I was noticing that people are looking at me funny. Like really, like I was like, what the?
More than usual.
More than usual, yeah. And I was like, okay, I ordered takeaway. Then I was walking home and everybody's staring at me.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then I went home and I was like, Louis, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Because I had my red lipstick all over my fucking face because I was drinking, you know. So like I was serving Joker realness and I love Jacqueline Phoenix, but I don't want to serve it. And I was walking around like I own the shit, you know, and just like
she's about to blow up a hospital, that bitch. Oh God. Yeah. I like how you managed to blame it on me.
Because you didn't tell me, like, Sille, you look like a mess.
I know. This is the path of the man. Provides the wine, says the nice conversation, and still like, it's your fault. It's tough. It's tough out there.
You could have told me, like, Sille, check the mirror because you look a fucking mess. Okay, you're drunk. Okay, I was literally walking the street like... like it was like some, I don't know, walk of shame or some shit like that. I was just like, yeah, like I had like, like, and just like, oh, I just went like, you know, like, I don't even want to say.
But this is what we're going to be experiencing again. We are all starting to go out again. Rando was in the chat. Thank you, Rando, for actually putting your real name there. Appreciate that, brother. Went barbecuing with my friends on the beach at Sardama yesterday. It was damn beautiful. Fuck yeah, man. I got my grill as well. And I don't know if you see my photos on Instagram. I love it so much. I love my grill so much.
We know.
I put it together with my own hands. I love that. I love my grill because this place that I've got, it's got a deck, and the deck just like it looks out over a car park, like whatever. I can see my car down there, right? Whatever. It looks out over the car park, but it's a little bit elevated. So I feel like I'm a king, just grilling my sausages, looking out over my kingdom, thinking, yeah. And the reason I love probably the best reason I love grilling on my balcony is for that little Estonian feeling, which is, your neighbors are jealous. And you're like, oh, those sausages taste that much better, knowing that the neighbors wish they could have them.
Now you're officially local.
Oh, I love it.
Now we could just give you the fucking passport, the nationality, because you really know the essence of Estonians, Fucking, we want to be better than our neighbors.
Give me the passport, Yuri. Come on. I've pissed off my neighbors. I've done my part.
You should invite him to your podcast.
That's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard, actually. Okay. Oh, Yuri in here. Okay.
Because we're talking about him every week. We're like, Yuri this, and like,
talk
okay.
About Yuri a lot.
Yeah.
So I love my grill. We're coming over after this. After we're done, I'm going over with me and Tim and Caleb, a few of the guys. We're going to be grilling. Hopefully, we don't cause too much trouble. But it fills my heart with Australian joy to finally have a grill again. Oh, look. Yes. Yes, the stream. Okay, we're back on the stream here.
Every time. It's like
I just bought 25 gigabytes of data on our mobile hotspot. And it just clapped out, apparently, and stopped working and said, now we've got to buy more. So that was a good spend of 20 euros.
Elisa hates you.
So thanks for sticking with us. We'll check how's the sound there?
Yeah.
We managed to pull it back. Everything is okay.
I think it's already part of the show that shit not working.
There's going to be, I know. And look, and again, let's not forget that Tunnus Ninemets took 25 minutes or 40 minutes to come online.
Is that the new standard now?
That's the new standard. Anything we do is still better than that Telekak stream with Tunnus Ninemets. So we're back again. Now we're streaming. We'll just double check your battery as we go. How's your battery, Silla, on your phone? Because now we're using Silla's phone as a hotspot.
Full, as always.
Full. Oh, look. Full, as always. Dang. Okay.
Like I'm full of myself, my phone.
Yeah. So we're back again. Has some people hitting me up going, yo, the stream doesn't work. So, okay, we're sorry. We lose all our customers and our viewers and everybody. But okay, we're settling in. We're good. We're grilling. I'm done with my grill talk.
Okay, I was just about to say, you're going to talk about your grill again, for the third time in the past hours.
Oh my God. What happened? We have a mobile hotspot that I reloaded with 25 gigabytes of data last week. And, unless Tim somehow used 25 gigabytes last night, I don't know what happened. Why the hotspot, the hotspot ran out of data, and then it comes up and says time to reload some more data. I'm like, motherfucker, I just put 25 gigabytes on that. I don't know. We don't have time to look through that now.
But was it in May or in April?
No, like right now, like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Because I had the problem that I ran out of mobile data and then I buy some more and then the month ends.
Oh, that's bullshit.
And then you lose it.
Oh, and it doesn't roll over? Oh,
no, it doesn't roll over. No. Come on, you know the Estonians.
Yeah, and then my phone, I have Telecrap, so it hasn't got connection anywhere, not inside of this. So and I tried to get Telia. I talked to Telia and Elisa about getting cable in here because this is a business address.
Yeah.
Everything is like seriously 10 times the amount. Like Tim definitely torrented 20 gigabytes of porn. I'm sure of it. Like if you just want like a 1010 internet, it's like $40. Like what I get at home for 30 euros was 150 euros for for this office. And I'm like, yo, Telia, how come?
It is.
And they're like, oh, this is a business address, so it's business prices.
Yep, I know.
And I'm like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, we pay like at our office like 70, something like that. So we.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
know. It's a lot of money.
For the same, like.
And we are a fucking NGO. We don't have any money.
Yeah, and you don't do it. What are you doing? Checking some emails every day, watching some YouTube streams. Like, you're not doing hardcore stuff. So this is some bullshit. But anyway, we're persevering on. We're getting through. We have the Maori Bay to
struggle.
help
It's a
us.
struggle bus. Okay.
Struggle bus. Oh my God.
We will get there.
All right. What have you been doing this week?
I've been so busy. Like I really, literally, I woke up today. I'm like, fuck, is it Friday? I'm like, fuck.
What have you been doing?
I've been working a lot because now it's, I don't know if you know this, but it's May. So that means like we're gonna go back to the office in 2 weeks. I need to get it cleaned. I need to get some disinfection stuff, and I need to, I was talking with the staff. How are they feeling? Do they want to come back? It's not, I cannot enforce because I need to talk to people if they don't feel like they want to take the risk because some people have to use public transportation and it's still risky, and there's so many things. And I had every single deadline this week. I was like, fuck my life. I was like, fuck, I was so busy.
I love how you do that, like, oh, fuck my life. It's called being a leader. Like, that's your job.
I know.
You're like, oh, these things happened to me. And then people wanted to talk to me. And it's like, that's literally your job.
Okay, but listen here, bitch. Listen here now. You want to go there? We're going to go there. I'm going to explain this shit to you. Okay, honey. Here's the thing. For the past 2 months, I've been lazy as fuck. I don't remember how to live that kind of life because I got used to it. Not doing much, sitting in my... Okay, I'm mostly naked at my home, but, it's just like sitting at home, eating snacks, drinking this and that. Just, not doing much. And I'm not used to getting my, like my old rhythm back because I was... Back in the day, like 2 months ago, I was used to like working whatever 12 hours. I don't care. I did podcasts and I was writing. Then I was going. And now this week, I actually felt like, okay, I have my old life back, and I don't know how to live it. I'm like, I don't know how to live my old life. I'm lazy as fuck right now, and I'm just like, everything is so annoying. I don't want to do this.
Right. We were told it's the end of the world.
Yeah. So I was
Stay
prepared.
at home. Yeah. And now it's this. Now it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I've been a slop.
There's going to be meetings again. You got to talk to people.
Yeah.
Communication.
I need to get shit done, and I'm like, fuck.
It's going to take you some weeks to ramp up. Well.
Yeah.
Because you guys are not meeting in the office again for a few more weeks, you said. So
yeah, I have like 2 weeks to prepare, but we have some online events coming up, and I need to organize those. And it's like everybody assumes that I know what I'm doing. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just learning.
How little they know you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's surprising. I talk a lot. I talk all the time, and they're still like, they don't listen, I think. Like you.
They've learned.
So
they've learned the secret sauce of working with Sille is just
so tune out. Like,
look, I'm very sure my colleagues have learned to just let me talk and just go and let it talk it out, and then it's done. It's a balance when you're a leader, right? You got to talk a little bit, but not too much.
But yeah, it was just so funny because I actually like, okay, I woke up 6 a.m. every day, and I was working like 12 hours doing stuff and organizing, and then I was like, man, I'm actually tired. I haven't felt tired in like a long time now, because it was really like slow pace. We don't know. We're in a lockdown, and I had so much free time. I was just like, yeah, I'm hanging on my couch and I'm hanging on my bed and I'm hanging like it's. But now, actually, to be honest, I enjoyed it because I felt alive again. But it's gonna take me like a week more to get used to it. Actually, just to be out there, communicating, seeing people, doing things, and getting shit done. So it's like it's weird.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I got so used to it. Like, yeah.
I'm a little worried as well. I'm a little worried. Like, I've got these new ideas, these new thoughts about the way I'm gonna handle my shit and make stuff happen. And then you're like, what happens when all the work comes again? And then, you're just going to throw that out the window. Like, I think the fear is we're treating this time like it was a holiday. You know when you go on holiday and it's like 1 week, 2 weeks away, and you sit on the beach and you come back and you're like, oh, I'm enlightened now. Oh, eat, pray, love. Oh, I've totally found my soul, and I made out with a Jamaican guy for 2 nights and it was fantastic. And now I feel like,
Are you Julia Roberts? Or what the fuck?
Now I feel like, I'm going to change my whole life. And when I come back home, everything is going to be different. And then, 5 days later, you're like, work, Vito. And it doesn't last. And I think that's the fear, that we think this is a holiday. I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think that the world has changed more profoundly
Absolutely.
in that time, but that's the illogical worry, right?
Yeah, the thing is actually, I think even I have changed in the past 2 months. I started to value things more in my life that I have. I was always like, I want more, I want this, I want that, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, I'm so happy that I have a home, I have a job, I have whatever, because I've seen people losing it actually, like just being laid off, and it's been really. I've been trying to support my friends who are really struggling, and it's tough. It's not a holiday for some people, definitely not. It's a horror story, like really, like it's been really hard, and I can see that people are like actually even depressed, I could say, because it happened like this, and you just have to deal with it. And when you had you have loans and you have payments and bills to pay, and then you lose your job overnight, it's horrible. It's really tough.
I think we all have to learn, get through that. Like, at first it was very depressing, and maybe there's moments of depression. Like, 8 weeks ago, I went to see my drug dealer, and he was all like, I got laid off from my job. Things are not good. I'm depressed. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, can I get the stuff? But I saw him the other day, and he's all like, he's like, sorry I was late. I got back from a run. He had his gear on. He's looking healthy. He's got color in his face again. He's like, yeah, man, I'm making the best of it. I'm running again and exercising, and I'm feeling good. And I'm like, yeah, good on you, weed man. And that's what I think. I think the weed man has something to teach us, that we get through it. We make it through. We find the best. We're all persevering through the dark days.
Is Mr. Weedman like Mr. Rogers of Estonia?
That's right. Yeah, we talk to him for advice. What advice do you have? It's always the same answer, funnily enough. But still, we ask him for advice. Yeah, even he had worked. Not that I should really speak down to such people, but even you wouldn't expect the broad range of emotions from such a title. But that he had worked it out. I'm like, because I looked at him, I'm like, bro, you're looking healthy. Like, it's good. Like, I'm happy for you. I was worried for you before.
Okay. Wow.
You gotta be worried for the people in your life.
I am really I have so many video chats. Like, even today, I did a video chat, but I was putting on makeup, and I had a video chat. I was talking, and just trying to be there, trying to support, because now it has surfaced so much, the problems that people have in their homes actually, that I was not aware of. And stuff like that, and it's not a secret, but there's a lot of domestic violence going on in households of Estonia, and this problem has really risen. What? What? Don't you dare! I was like, what the fuck?
I thought you weren't gonna see it.
I have eyes.
This is not fun.
It's like,
sorry.
Asshole. I know this is your show, but you're a fucking.
It's not
asshole.
fun. No, it's our show. It's both of our names on it. You keep saying it's my show. It's our show, Sille.
You put your name first.
Yeah. Oh, so now she wants her name first. Now she wants her equal on the title. Okay.
No, for me the funniest thing is you put Australian Louis and Sille. It sounds like I'm Australian too, and people keep asking me what part of Australia are you from? And I'm like, no, it's like.
I gotta be more precise in my wordings. Australian and not Australian.
I don't like. No, it's like okay.
Australian Louis, right? I thought the and sign would then negate any other prefixes that I put on that. No, it doesn't, because then I put the brackets Tissident.
Yeah.
So I should put Australian Louis and Tissident Sille-Kadri, like Tissident's a country or something.
Yeah, it would be like Australian Louis and Estonian Sille-Kadri. That would make sense. But
okay,
yeah.
all right.
But it's like Australian Louis and Sille-Kadri. who's making Tissident, but it's like
Yeah, I have no grasp on the English language, even though I'm a native speaker. So, okay, no, actually, that does make grammatical sense now it's pointed out to me. See, there's so many things that you could just say that. I didn't even know that.
The biggest problem that I had that you misspelled my name every week, and
Every
I was like, oh, every time you misspell my name, and I was like, it's still Simer. Simer.
You should think about getting an extra M in there. I just want to.
An extra name.
Extra M.
It's like.
It's good. Stream's up. It's going well. It's at the Maori Bay.
Yeah.
I write notes sometimes. Every podcast I do, I write little notes so I remember what I was doing. I talked to this week on my podcast. I talked to Sten Coleman from Level 1, who's also a journalist for Otelet, or journalist media editor for Otelet, working in games and talking about esports and gaming and stuff like that. So that was cool. It was nice. He's a knowledgeable dude, and just asking about what the scene is like in Estonia, and typically trying to say well, okay, how do you manage this person, and how do they making some money, and how do they build their career, and this sort of stuff. So it was a nice talk to have with Stan.
You had someone else this week. You did?
Oh, yeah. The other one was my first Zoom podcast with a gentleman whose name is Joe Egan.
Yeah.
And Joe was our very first headliner ever with Comedy Estonia. So 2010, 10 years ago, the first ever show at Vilda, 2 shows at Vilda, he headlined those. And so it was nice to speak to my old friend again and talk about running. He runs clubs he lives in Sweden.
Where's he from?
He's Canadian,
okay,
but he lives in the south of Sweden. And he runs clubs in Sweden, in Copenhagen. It's very close. But he also runs, for some reason, runs clubs in Amsterdam, Luxembourg. It doesn't make sense. But he runs those. So he's run a lot of English clubs. I've run a lot of English language comedy nights. And it was really nice to talk with my old friend again.
Yeah, he's cool. I think. I don't know him. Because you were asking, do you remember 10 years ago? I was like, I didn't even know about Comedy Estonia 10 years ago, to be honest. I was in high school. I was like.
That's so funny to think Sille in high school. How do you think you're different? Are you more you now than you were then?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm more okay with who I am, and I have worked through some issues that was when you're a teenager or just young adult, you have no idea what the fuck is life about, who are you, what do you like, what you don't like. It was a struggle bus again, but yeah, I feel like I'm more confident, and I'm more taking life not so seriously, and just because 10 years ago I took life way too serious, so now I'm more
I wonder if that's a thing that we're all gonna do now that we're getting to the end of the COVID, if we're sort of understanding why the fuck did we take it all so seriously? Why did we?
Because literally everything seemed the end of the world. If I fail the next time, if something something, even if it was minor inconvenience, it felt like this is the fucking literally the end of everything, and I'm never gonna get through this. Because I was almost kicked out of high school, and I remember crying in the bench, just in the park, and my life is over, and I'm never gonna be nothing, and like that. And now I'm like. Okay, just get your shit together and do the classes, and
what high school did you go to?
I went to Tallinn Technology High School.
Okay.
So it was it's the school that prepares you to go to the university. Taltech is now called. And so we had to take the history of technology, higher mathematics, finances, and I failed logic.
That's so funny, that logic. I was talking to Popov about that. Alexander Popov, he teaches logic in, I don't know if it's the same school, but one school.
I failed logic, and I told the teacher, well, if it would be women's logic, I would excel in that. He did not find it funny at all.
Where's the sassiness course? Because I'm getting full marks, motherfucker.
And he was like, no, you failed the class. And I think it was because I didn't, it was really late on a Thursday, not evening, but it was really late class, and I just skipped it all the time. I was like, I'm smart enough, I can do this shit. And then when I got the test, and I had no idea what the fuck is this about, and I did not have the context or the abilities or the knowledge to do it. So I actually failed logic, and I was like, I'm so fucked.
Hey guys, fucking stop the presses, okay? Big internet scandal. Sille-Kadri Simer failed logic. Can we believe it? Is that
that's truth, actually. So when I was like the last year, I had to repeat. So either to get through college, not college, sorry, high school, I had to repeat it, and I did, and I was stuck with a bunch of elementary grade, and I was like, fuck, but I did it, and then I got like a B. So I was like, okay, because I actually went to the classes, and I was like, oh, it's not so hard. I just need to like study, you know, I need to be present, I need to listen and read it, and like, but because I was thinking that, this is some bullshit, I'm just gonna write some mumbo jumbo and I'm gonna be fine, you know, like. It was not the case. There was actually logic behind the fucking logic class. So.
Yeah, that's called writing some mumbo jumbo and saying anything. That's called a career in podcasting. That's what that was, you know, would have been.
Yeah.
That's because even to me, I was so taken back by the idea that there's such a class called logic, and impressed. Like, we ain't in Australia.
It was mandatory. The class was mandatory.
Yeah,
you had
in
to take
Australian public schools, we ain't learning no logic. Nah, like reasoned arguments and saying why this is one way and why we ain't.
Well, here's the thing. The high school I went to, yeah, it was a public school, but still, it was really tough to get in there. So you had to do the tests before and stuff like that. So I barely made it to I barely got the place there because they said like, okay, like your grammar is good, your English is good. You're not good at math. And I was like, I was the best in my class back in the day, and I was like, what? I'm not like, I was really shook because I really studied hard and stuff. And when then I understood it's not like an elite school, but it was really like, it was one of the toppest. Like it was really hard. Like actually, and I was like, fuck. And when I took the classes, and I was just like, I was having a mental breakdown every week. I was like, fuck, why did I agree to this shit? And there were so many things like because I never had like. We had like girls and boys separate classes. So we had boy classes and girl classes.
Oh my God. Okay. Welcome to the 1970s.
Yeah.
All right.
So I had like 22 like girl classmates, you know, like female classmates. So it was, I always wondered how many of us are bisexual now because like it's like it's just
as much as they say like, because the argument is like, oh, boys are like distracted by girls and girls are all good and they study and they're studious and they don't need silly boys distracting them. I don't know.
No,
about
honey.
That. Really? Just putting a whole bunch of teenage chicks in one room and make this slightly competitive? Really?
Oh, it was competitive. Trust me. It was I did not fit in there at all. Like I was just, I was the weird art kid that didn't find her place. I was just like, it was like really, it was big personalities. Like we had really strong big personalities in class. We were loud and we were just, you know, dissing each other. We were like giving each other a hard time. And it was a, yeah, we had some colorful people in our class, but like the thing is like I was so alienated from the school life. I didn't know there was other class because we had like 3 like separate classes. So it was like 2 were the boys and like 1 was only girls. So I don't know the boys at all. Like I was like they were parallel classes to me, but I don't know them. I was like.
So the only chance that you had, were there any classes together or only in the schoolyard? Only in the
schoolyard, but you're not gonna, you're like 16, you're not gonna talk to some random guys you don't know. Like, I was not like right now, because right now I'm like, I don't give a fuck, you know, but like when you're 16, you're insecure. And I just moved to Tallinn, like back to Tallinn. And I had so many issues because, you know, I wasn't popular, I wasn't this and that, and you know, so it was a really tough time for me. I really hated high school. I was just like, could not wait when it was over. I really, really hated it.
Me too. I wasn't a fan of my high school days. We were in a very public school, so we only had class. There was no thought of boys and girls and all that kind of shit. Yeah, it wasn't a fun time, but yeah, boys and girls. It's like boys need. You need each other when you're in high school. Like, yeah, a whole bunch of boys in a class are gonna be friggin' animals. They're just gonna be monkeys going at each other. And we need women to calm us down. We need the female influence in the class. Now, that does mean that we will be like, I just saw some boobs. Right, but also, and you will, what do women get? Well, I think chicks need that as well. Chicks need, there's a calming influence from guys as well.
Yeah, but the thing for me is like, it's so weird to separate in high school, like boys from girls, because later in life, you're going to go to college or whatever, you're going to go to work. and it's not gonna be like you're not gonna be separated from the opposite sex.
Sure, exactly.
So for me, it was a
Why
weird
would you
time.
separate?
I'm going through like really like teenage puberty years, and then I'm so awkward, and then I'm more awkward because I'm only used to talking with chicks. You know, it's like what the hell? I didn't know how.
Do you think that does that make a certain thing that, and you don't have to talk about your own incidences, but you can relate more general. Does that mean that finally, when you are, for lack of a better term, exposed to boys, I don't know if that's parties that are happening more often at the end of the school, or maybe that's more just straight out when you get to university. Does that make you more like, boys, like, does that promote that more, do you think?
Are you asking me, was I boy crazy?
No, I'm saying not you, as a general experience.
Well, my first boyfriend was like when I was 18. So it was pretty late. And yeah, I've always been a weird person, so I don't know if I can relate. And there's been, when I was like 19, 20, 21, then I was like dating everybody. Like I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like I was just like,
if you were somebody back then, you were
if
dating
you asked me out, I would date you. I would be like no standards. That's why I have so many weird stories, because I literally went out with whoever was interested in me. But I was really like low, and I was really insecure, and I was not myself, you know, and then I just wanted attention, and I got the wrong attention, and then I started to hate men. No, I don't hate men.
It's a good part.
but yeah, it took me some time to realize, like, no, honey, you don't actually, your self-worth needs to come from within, you know, you need to just be okay with yourself. You don't need compliments or attention or whatever. You just need to be okay with yourself and live your life and be happy, and, you know, find your way, and then maybe you meet somebody, but not like just like, because I remember like I never did this shit, but I was like 20 and I was dating two guys at the same time. It was a mess. Like I don't know how I remember the names or whatever. It was a lot of shit going on.
Do you think that was somewhat? Do you think that was okay? Maybe you had your own things going on and whatever in your own head. Do you think, again, like more broadly with yourself and for your schoolmates, like, do you think that affected you to not have more opposite sex interaction?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because
as you look, maybe also when you look around your friends as well.
Yeah, because I tell you, because for me, like I had a really good friend in high school. Like she was we sit together in classes and stuff, and we were both like the old ones out. We were like, and we did not know, like it was hard to talk to guys when you were sober and stuff. Like you really have insecurities because you're not accustomed to seeing, like, okay, I have my best friend, but that's different. But I don't have a lot of boys around me growing up. I don't have a brother, so I don't really know. Like I don't really know. It was so awkward. You're like 16, and it's like, like it was really awkward. I remember it took me some time to just be like, you know, get over it and just, you know, be yourself and stuff, and be like comfortable, you know, expressing yourself and, you know, making jokes and stuff. Because I remember like as soon as like we had some guys in the company, I would shut down. I was like, I don't know if I can make that joke, or like I was like, I'm so used to, like, when I had chicks around me, I said the most ridiculous fucking stuff. I was like blah 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 blah, this and that. But as soon as a guy walks in, I was like reserved, and I was like feeling awkward and weird. And
because you didn't know, because you hadn't had that, okay, what it means to speak to a member of the opposite sex and have them as a friend. And
it was like 3 years we were separated, and you know, and I felt really weird because the thing was, I'm really outgoing and I want to talk to people, but I was like, I don't know if they like me. I don't know how to approach them. And they were all like packs, you know, everybody was in a pack, like belonging somewhere. And I was like, I don't know. I was just...
It's a deeply insecure time when you're that age.
It is.
You don't know nothing.
And because I changed schools, because I moved from a countryside, I moved to Tallinn. There was a lot of changes at the time, and I was really feeling like not really comfortable, and really just needing friends around me and missing my friends back at home. And, you know, and it was really, because I remember the first day when I went there and everybody's looking at me like, so you think you're something, you're nothing. Like, it's
schools
like,
are brutal. I mean, children are just
like
brutal.
I was just like sweating, and I was like, oh, why did I choose this outfit? Why why did I color my hair? Like, you know, I was getting so like anxiety, like it was horrible. I didn't like it, and I was like, I'm gonna have a horrible time here. Yeah, like, just push it through. But I liked when I went to university. Then, you know, things changed, and I was like, oh, it's, you know, it's cool, and I hang out with my like pals there, and it was cool. And I was like, I really liked to go to university because I was like actually studying what I loved, and I didn't have to go to logic class anymore. It's like,
I think it's a pretty common thing that when you get to university and you can finally find your own group and your own people.
There's so many people. There's so many different people, and it's like it wasn't so competitive. It wasn't like, your teacher, they don't like you, or then gotta screw you over. They don't remember your name. They're calling you Stella for 3 years, and you're like, fuck you, I'm Sille-Kadri motherfucking Simer. Like, and you're I had
one teacher's calling you Stella for the whole time.
Sylvia, Stella, and
Sylvia, Stella, okay.
Something like Sigrid, and like something with an S. They were like, "You're Sylvie," no, and I was like, "Silla, whatever. Come up here and just do it," because they were like really like stereotypical, burned out, hate children, in their 60s. Women like who were like really bitter and like really Soviet Union kind of like shit, and I was not having it because I was like kind of like hippie, and I have other ideas and stuff, and they were like, no.
You mentioned you had an offhanded mark, which made me think of something. Like most schools in Australia, even public, I went to in the countryside, very public school, right? By I mean that's like we were crazy monkey banana shit going on. Most schools in Australia have a school uniform.
Oh.
I wore a school uniform for my whole time.
Wow.
Now it was grey shorts, maybe down to the knee. Now if you're lucky, maybe you get a good brand, maybe you get some surf brand, Quicksilver, Billabong, something like that, but still grey corduroy. The junior school had blue collared like polos. The seniors had white collared polos. There was official track pants or official, like I had to have long pants. It was cold on the rare occasion it's cold in Australia. Long corduroy pants instead. But mostly, we didn't come from rich families, so you just wore your shorts the whole year round anyway. Because it's Australia, fuck it. You got to have the official school hoodie over the top if that's your thing. No blazers. Only those private school dicks had blazers and little dicky hats. We don't have that. That was the difference. We don't have dicky hats in like little straw hats or something in public schools. Whole time school uniforms. Maybe you would have twice a year have like a uniform free day.
Really?
And sucks to be you if you didn't find out it was the no uniform day. Oh yeah. Oh, there's always that one kid who showed up with the day and you didn't get the memo. Well, the whole time though, you think we are wild animals in Australia, but one thing, maybe like we didn't have to think because you said like, oh, did I choose that outfit?
Oh yeah, because because like,
and I'm like, there's no outfit to choose for us.
Yeah, because like I was really like overthinking what should I wear, what kind of how I should put together myself, and then I was there and I saw like girls wearing like Armani and Gucci and whatever, and I was like, fuck. Like, like
right, because that's what the uniform's supposed to do. Supposed to get around
but
that.
For me, it's kind of oppressing
kinda
as well. Like if I was have to wear the same shit like every single day.
Sure, and that's the point of a uniform. A uniform is meant to, in some ways, oppress.
Look,
keep your uniform. It's in the word. Keep your uniform, keep you straight. And maybe we needed that. I don't know, because it's like very common. Only, I would say, rare few schools in all of Australia have no school uniform. Like we would watch movies of like some school thing or something, like some American movie, and be like, whoa, do they just not wear uniforms because it's a movie? Like, how could that possibly be? Like, we couldn't even comprehend that there may not be a place in the world where you don't wear a uniform.
Yeah, I understand. But it's about like inequality. So because not all the kids are gonna have the same outfits to wear. Like so there's gonna be popular kids. Blah blah. I get that, but for me, like even if you're wearing the uniform, you can still be the most unpopular kid in the school, and it's not about the clothes. And I think that's something that, like, let's say if you are bullied, that's something that actually the teachers have to notice and just say that that's not okay and take action and stuff like that, not just stand by. And it's never, for me, I would never want to wear a uniform, because we had a vote. There was like a thing that they designed some clothes and they were like, let's take a vote. Do we want, like as a school together, like do we want to have the uniforms?
Yeah.
In some schools they do in Estonia. Some elite schools they have uniforms, but it's most likely like in the first, second, third grade, something like that. Everybody was like, no, we are being oppressed enough by the Russians. We want to be free, motherfucker. We want to wear whatever the fuck we want. Okay, like
what kid has ever voted for a uniform? Like that seems like the dumbest vote ever to take. Like, hey kids,
there was a debate and
y'all want to do this conformist thing with shitty things and all look the same?
Because like I think if I would have a uniform, it would be like dirty all the time or whatever, because I don't know how to eat. And I would be like, and you have to wash it. I have to actually.
Yeah, sure. You gotta have 5 shirts. You gotta have 5 of the same. You have to have 5 of the same shirts.
And it has to look nice and presentable.
Sure.
You cannot just, because I would be like putting stickers or something on. I don't know. I would just go wild with it. I don't know. No. Because I used to like to make my own clothes when I was like younger and stuff.
That's great. I mean, Rando was saying there that the thrift store style out in Sadama, crazy school clothes. I mean, that's cool. Maybe that's a nicer thing out in the countryside, that more eclectic things can happen, where you said, I mean, you went to a pretty nice school, so you're getting the upper class, and the kids, they're looking competitive. They're like, no, we're richer, so I'm going to have the nicer clothes.
They knew I was from countryside. They knew as soon as I walked in, they were like, you're not from here. Like they were like, immediate, they clocked me. Like,
which is hilarious for me, thinking about anyone from Tallinn calling someone from the countryside. But okay, cool. No worries. All right. Cool. I can't decide whether I would have had a uniform or not. It was because there are still levels of uniform, because even we had the uniform, I had to have the gray shorts, but they were the surf brand, like Quicksilver or Billabong. You could tell even your shorts, whether it was a good brand or a regular brand. And you wanted those cool surf brands, because it's Australia, we're all wearing Billabong, Quicksilver, O'Neill, this sort of stuff. So I always had Billabong, and to have the Billabong, and they were actually a bit nicer material and things like that, but mum's like, it cost 30 euros for a pair of shorts. We need 5 of them because you're a fucking grub and you're always running around in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And I'm like,
but I don't want to get bullied. It's
right. Yeah, so I want to at least, please, for the love of God, Mum, can I at least on this thing not be bullied? Please, on this one small thing.
Oh my God, I don't miss school at all.
No.
Don't. I actually like to learn and study, and I don't mind that, but being in that environment, it was just so competitive, so much drama and shit, and I was just like, no, I don't like it. So I skip school a lot, at least once a week.
Even that is a fascinating differences between our cultures, right? Skipping school. Mm-hmm. Okay. In my school, your attendance was recorded at every single class. You might have 5 or 6 or 5. You might have 6, 7, 8 classes a day as it's allotted, right? Mm-hmm. Every single class, there was a roll call taken, and then someone had to take that sheet of paper down to the secretary's office, and those results were collected on an hour-by-hour basis. Now, the bureaucracy is a little bit slow. They may not catch you straight away, but they will get you in a day or two and be like, yo, where the fuck were you in science class between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock on Tuesday? There was not quite, but almost zero skipping of classes. Now, are we animals, or how is that different to what you experienced?
Well, the thing was come on, if the teacher is not even willing to learn my fucking name, she's not gonna put any effort, so she doesn't give a fuck if I'm there or not.
Are they taking a roll call? Are they taking the names?
Depends. It all depends on the teacher. So yeah, sometimes we did that and we had to raise our hands or whatever. But most of the time I made up some bullshit excuses. Bullshit. I lied that a lot. Every other day I had a toothache and I had this and that, and I lied a lot, and then I was skipping, or I just sent an email in the morning 7, oh my God, this again, my grandpa died or something. Like I lied.
He keeps coming up and then dying again. We can't help it. So he...
yeah. It was always like personal issues, something. You know, it was. I had to go there. I was always like coming up with excuses, and of course I sometimes I got caught because I was partying and stuff like that. I got caught, and I was like, actually no, so I skipped classes, and that was the second reason I was almost kicked out of high school, to be honest. But I made it. Then I started to like cry, and I was like, oh my god, so dramatic. And then I was like, okay, you can stay in high school. But the thing was, my grades were good. I think I just wasn't present all the time, but I was actually a good student if I was in the classroom and if I was actually, you know, learning. If I was present, I was doing great. But the problem was, I was skipping school a lot, and I felt like I didn't want to be there. I was demotivated, and I was just like...
So even 10 years ago, or a little bit more than 10, but something like this, when you were in the high school, as we worked out, that was still email. Because like I'm 10 years before that. There's no email. You at best had to get your parent to call in. If you were sick, the parent had to call, like that this child won't be coming into the school today.
Well, my legal guardian was my grandpa, and I was like, oh, he doesn't know how to use computers, so I sent it myself, you know. So I was sneaky.
Now that I describe it, it sounds like we live in a fucking police state. Now I'm like, every class was checked. You will be found out.
It's so oppressing.
Like, only the worst kids skipped. Like you were like, oh, you're a bad kid, and for sure you're gonna be doing the drugs and stealing things in a year. Like I'm sure of it. And I was in the countryside. We weren't even in like a Ponzi private school, a fancy school or some shit like that. But I think it was just I don't know, the culture or something. Like you had to call in, like the parent had to call in. You couldn't just wag. We call it wagging, by the way.
Oh,
wag
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you wag school. Like I couldn't imagine just like, hey, we're not going to that class. Like an unimaginable thing for me to think that I'm just skipping a class. And then I think in the final year, sometimes classes were optional, but it was officially declared as optional, and it was unbelievable to us. We're like, what? We don't have to what?
Well, for us, it's like if you're gonna graduate, if you're gonna make it work, you know, you get your grades. Who gives a fuck? Honestly, like if you, because you know every student is different. Like I'm the type of person, I do not like this kind of like being Monday to Friday, you know, all the time sitting in a class. I would rather just be at home and read the stuff myself and work it out, and you know. And because I felt really uncomfortable at school, so for me, I actually learned more when I was by myself and I was motivated, you know, at home and just like studying and stuff, and that worked for me much more. Because as soon as I was in the classroom, I was like, I don't want to stand out. I don't want attention. Yeah. I was like, and every time I had to answer, I was like, fuck. Like, I don't want to answer this stuff, you know. I was really feeling uncomfortable. So I think the end result was more like, you know, like in the end, like, okay, you talk with your teacher and they're like, Sille, you're skipping school every other day. Like, this is fucked up. This is not gonna fly. And I know you're lying. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm working as well and I'm having a tough life, you know. And everybody relates it. When you start to talk about, oh my God, my family and this and that, and they're like, okay. Like, just.
Even that is okay. Again, you drop interesting hints in the middle of your discussions for me. I'm working. Barely anybody that I knew in high school had a job.
I was working, part time.
Right.
But a lot of my classmates were working like part time. They were like customer service, doing something like minor labor or something like easy, but still we were like 16, 17. We were working because. Like I wasn't the only one who came from a poor background or something. You need to either you need to support yourself or your family, or it's like if you even want some things, let's say you want nice clothes or you want some go on a field trip, you need to work the entire summer or you need to work all the time besides school. So I actually every weekend I was working, and that was one of the reasons why I was tired, and I was actually just like sleeping in and, you know, being late and stuff. But I was working.
Huh. Again, another amazing idea, because now it seems so weirdly sheltered, so weirdly controlled. Like no one had a job. Like maybe in the last year, Lachlan had a job at the Statoil. I can't even remember if that was the same time or if that was later, if you still had that in high school or not. But it was a weird thing if someone had a job at a customer service at a gas station or something. Like,
Yeah,
wait, did I have the job at McDonald's then?
Really?
Oh, maybe I'm telling lies.
Huh.
Maybe, okay, it's not that common, not as common as it is in Australia, but I did. In my small town, I think, I don't know, maybe year 10, year 11, I'm not entirely sure, maybe the year 11. In our region, within 1 hour of us, we got a McDonald's. Never happened. And so it was like the first thing, and everyone was signing up to get a job, and I signed up to get a job. And I had a shaved head back then, and I had my little McDonald's cap on.
Oh my God.
My little collared shirt.
I cannot even.
And I lasted one shift.
Really?
I was flipping burgers out the back. I'd never had a job before. I couldn't take it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm never going back there.
Really?
I don't know why.
One shift?
One shift is all. I seem like pretty like sheltered. I think I was. Like one shift, pretentious and sheltered. Yeah,
for me, it's like, wow.
I was like one shift. I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know what the world was like.
Okay, McDonald's is hard. I'll give you that. It's a hard place to start. Like it's a fast food, and like it's tough.
I guess so, yeah.
You know, because you have a lot of customers. It's a lot of pressure. It's always you have to.
I don't know. I don't even know why it was. I just think like flipping burgers, and I didn't even have an identity then to know like, no, this is not me. Fuck the man. It wasn't even that. I don't want to give myself that much credit in the situation. I was just confused and overwhelmed by goddamn McDonald's. Like, what the fuck was wrong with me?
No, I don't like. Yeah, I worked in restaurants and like coffee shops, but there was like McDonald's, Hesburger, also Circle K. Like, no disrespect, but
you worked in all of them?
No, that's my point. Is that McDonald's, Hesburger, our kiosk, and Circle K are places that I never applied and I never wanted to work, because like if it's like fast food or like fast paced, it's really tough. I know people who have worked there, like in the fast food chains. It's super, super tough. I used to work. I have worked in one kind of fast food place, and it was like it was a lot of pressure, and it's like, you know, you have to be like on point. It's a lot. So those. I respect, if you have even worked in one day in McDonald's, I have so much respect for you.
Well, respect everyone there. Look, don't give me no respect. I'll have one stupid day. If you're still working in service and you're flipping burgers or doing whatever you have to do.
Because when you do table service, there's different.
Absolutely, very hard.
Yeah, it's different, you know, and I know that they get a lot of shit because they, like, if you work in McDonald's, you see people like shit-faced at 5 a.m. acting the worst, like, and they're just like drunk and just, it's crazy. And also in gas stations, like, can you imagine the people they get there, they get the worst.
Especially now these days, like back in the day, back in the Statoil days, in the good old days, if you were working at Statoil, what did you do? Yes, that's the petrol, sir. You need a little oil. Here's your Kit Kat. Now, Circle K, can I make you a gourmet fucking burger, sir? You want your double barrel falafel hot dog with what sauces do you want? And I gotta pour, like, all of a sudden you're a food server when you just signed up to sling gas at the Circle K.
Yeah, and everybody goes, not like everybody, but a lot of people go like after party, because gas station is for like 24 hours. Yeah. So they're like, they have some hot dogs and stuff, and then you have like bunch of people coming from a festival, shit faced, getting into fights, and there's a lot of pressure. Like I don't. That's why I never applied to those jobs, because like no, it's a lot of stress. It's like a night shift. So, even if you work in a restaurant, usually you get off like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. whatever latest. But if you have like those places that are open 24/7. That's different. You have totally different schedule, totally different shifts. And I was like, I don't want to work like 6 a.m. in the morning, or like, sure. it can. No, I was like, even when I was like 18, I was like, I don't think I can handle it, to be honest. So but I worked like, I used to work when I was like 16. I worked in a store, just put some items.
What store?
It doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay.
Like it was so long. It was like so long ago. It was like a store. They sold clothes and stuff, and like a family store. So I just worked there in weekends, and And then I worked in I was dishwasher when I was like 17, washing dishes, in a coffee place. And every summer I worked my ass off like 5 days a week. Like I was working really hard.
I didn't have a proper job till I graduated school. I guess my parents at the time told me I was retarded, and I guess they're right. But then I'm like, well, did you really help me out? Because I was like, I had the job at McDonald's, which lasted one shift. I had a job at a bakery, which I think also lasted 1 or 2 shifts. And now if I think back on the work, I'm like, what was the big problem? What am I doing? I'm getting bags of flour and putting them here and pouring things into that and doing something else, whatever. I'm just doing work, but like, I don't know. I lasted that. And that's the only jobs I had until I graduated high school. And then I started doing IT jobs.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess I had some fucking idea in my mind that stream's acting up a bit. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Maybe how's... But anyway, we need toilet break soon.
Really?
Yeah. How's your battery going?
Yeah, it's fine.
Battery's going good. 72%. That's still going good. What we're gonna do? It's we're gonna have I'm gonna have a toilet break. Remember we agreed on toilet breaks. These are good things.
Agreed on once, and it's like every time now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Every time I need to pee. Oh my god. God, Lewis. Okay, so works again. Now I know we just touch. Sille touches things, and amazing things happen.
That should be my tagline.
All right, we'll turn off the lights.
The miracle of the
for a
touch.
few minutes. Hold on, guys. Okay. We're back. Toilet's done. Rondo, was it your Wi-Fi living out there on the islands? You didn't look. There's all kinds of viruses on the island. Could be computer. Could be anything. So I got a beer. I will. So round 2. That was. We talked a lot. I'm speaking to McDonald's and stuff. You see that very soon they are gonna have. Turn on the music again. Very soon the Burger King's opening up down at Baltiam.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, Burger King's one of those things that's like, we don't have it in Estonia and we want it bad. It's not even that great. but it's coming and we want it. Like, I don't even understand why I eat it on the ferry. Like, I eat it and I'm like, I hate myself again. We want it and it's coming.
They have the vegetarian burger. I used to eat it when I was going to Finland, and then they opened a Burger King there. I never been there, but I was like, you have something vegetarian. I was like, fuck yeah. Then I actually, it was good. It was okay price and it was good. I was surprised.
Yeah, because it's in that big, whatever that hall or whatever you want to say at the end of the terminal. Because Tallinn terminal,
No, it was in the ship, like in Tallinn, like.
In Tallinn it was when you did it, but right now it's at the end of the. In the Baltium down there.
I haven't been there, no.
Megastar. On the Megastar,
yes,
absolutely. But I don't like. Here's the thing: the problem with the Megastar is it goes to Finland. Fuck that. No, I don't want to go to Finland. I just want to go down to Baltium, and it's in that. Whatever. Like, first of all, let's talk about Baltium. All right.
Oh wow.
Okay. As much as I have understood, the Tallinn main train station, as we might call it in English,
it is
the only train station in the European Union, the only main train station of the country that is not an enclosed building.
Oh.
Like, even Riga has an enclosed train station. What do we get? A Burger King at the end of the track. That's all it is. And that building where the Burger King is now, that was that used to be when I first came to Estonia in 2006. That was still when no Baltium markets were there. That was still that old Russian ghetto-y thing, selling the old things that was there. And that building right at the end of the tracks, which now the Burger King is going into, was just like a markets. And there were stores and shit like that. And that's where I got that joke from, the old joke that I have, that I walked into those markets and there was a guy with a table just selling knives. And I was like, what? At the fucking train station? And it was. I walked into that building and he had a big old table and it was just full of knives. And I'm like, yo, at the train station, he's a man who knows his target market. Where do you need knives? At the train station. Stabby, stabby. And I thought Tallinn was the best place ever when I saw that. And I'm like, this place gangster.
I remember being on the second grade and going to like Baltium, to buy stickers because they were like this, they saw everything. There was like, you could get a chiburek and then some coffee and then some knives and then some stickers and then some toys and like clothes and whatever. You have every single thing there. And there's been one burger place that's been there forever. And there's some places that have been there like literally forever. And now I remember when they renovated it, I always wondered, are the people gonna change, who go to Baltium? And then they made this beautiful, the market Baltium Turg,
Now we all go there. We're all hipsters.
We all go there, and there's now hipsters and still those alcoholics, that used to hang there. They're still hanging there.
They'll always be there, and the pigeons as well, Baltium pigeons.
Yeah, because it was couple of weeks ago. There was a guy who was just shaving his head in the middle of the day, like just bzzz, like. Just like
with an electric razor or a proper shave, or like a razor blade?
No, like the machine. Like he was literally like there was where is Humalakoda, like the place with the steps. Under there is apparently some electricity because he was just like, he plugged it in the machine and he was just like going at it.
Sure.
This is Baltium, okay. And there's been some weird shit. I have seen some weird shit when I was a kid and still to this day.
Isn't that great? That still exists. That level. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to romanticize this gentleman's bad position in society. Not that, but that it's still a thing, that it can still be like that.
Yeah, and sometimes, you're just walking and you see those really cool hipsters, not too cool for school kind of look, which is, we bought an apartment in Telliski, we were so fabulous. And then literally next to them, there's a guy who was eating trash. Like,
this is good. This is good trash.
And I've seen that. I'm like,
you rich hipsters leave good trash behind.
Yeah, because you know, all this eco shit that they have. And but it still has this Baltiama vibe, you know. It still has this Baltiama vibe. So
it's going to be good, I think, because that was the thing. Because KFC came, and KFC is in Ülemiste and in Christina Keskus, because fucking Apollo. But anyway, don't mind me.
so crowded in Christina. I don't go there, but I see it.
Like, it's not like, because that's Apollo style, right? But Burger by Tallink. Didn't Tallink? They're the ones? I mean, that's why it's on the ship. And
Yeah,
we dropped out for a second. I do understand we dropped out for a second. Silla got a call from a number from +679. Fiji!
This is some...
So sorry that your live stream was interrupted because Silla got a call from Fiji. Like, I mean, we've had a lot of, like, I get that sometimes. Like, if you see a number from a weird country, you're like,
yeah. Sometimes I get like from Somalia or some shit like that. So you know it's a scam.
Hello,
it's a
this is Mr. Louis. Yes, I want to talk to Mr. Louis. Okay.
From Fiji, like...
The Fiji call. For all you know, there was like, hi, is that Sille-Kadri Simer? Yeah, hi, we're in Fiji. Yeah. Paradise. That's right. You know what? That is fucking paradise where it's always sunny. Can you come and like be our mascot and shit? But, you know, we're not going to follow up. You have to answer this call. And if you don't answer this call, you're going to be stuck eating Burger King at Balti Arm forever and a day.
Yeah, it's so weird. I sometimes I think because my number is easy to find, I get some weird calls from someone.
How is your number easy to find? Like how? What do you mean
Because
by
like
that?
it's also my work number, so it's like you know.
Okay, you can go to the website or
Yes.
something, can you? And,
Yeah, you can go to the website and you can find my
easily stalkable. You are quite stalkable. Which is not the good form of stalk. Usually we want the stalk to visit us.
Louis, I'm almost 30, so nobody wants to stalk me anymore. Trust me on that. It's like those days are over. Okay.
Okay. There was some good days in the middle.
I remember those days when guys would put on the effort and into stalking, but not anymore.
Guys, what are you doing? You're so behind. All right. She hasn't had a stalker for years. Okay. She's hanging out in weird corridors, dimly lit streets, back alleys. She's looking for a stalker, guys.
I don't even need my pepper spray anymore. This is so boring.
I don't even need my...
This is so boring.
and that, I love it how that's a negative. Like, my life is over. I'm an old grandma these days. I don't even need my pepper spray to fend off sexual predators. Those were the days. Sexual predators.
I told you I was insecure back in the day. I was happy to get any kind of attention. I was like... Yeah, you're 50, but okay.
Yeah, give it to me. And you're like, no. Oh, wait.
So, yeah, of course, I'm joking. Like, that harassment is never okay, but I have had a couple of stalkers, but it was weird.
No? Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had a stalker because I'm a man.
Wait, you had one?
No, I was trying to come to a comment that it's like men don't get stalkers.
They do.
Right. But when they do, they're fucking crazy.
So like
women don't snap. Women don't usually become stalkers as much as we might say men are more prone to. But when women do become stalkers, like, oh shit, they take it to some
next level.
But maybe not. I don't know.
Well, we've all heard about the crazy ex-girlfriend stories, somebody keying your card, sending you threats and stuff like Yeah, so,
Yeah, I've never... I feel like I've never lived. I haven't had an ex-girlfriend key my car. I'm trying to think of the worst thing that I've had done. One packed my car up for me. I was living... the Swedish chick living in Stockholm.
All right.
Now, again, I was not innocent in all of these things.
Sure.
I certainly have my part to blame. So
but we're going to present you like you were totally innocent.
Right. So I'm not saying that she was not justified in her actions, but I came home and she had packed my car up for me. And I was like, well, that saves time. Yeah. I'm trying to think what other... I don't think I've had any crazy shit. Like crazy woman.
You haven't had like somebody thinking that even though they don't know you, like, but already thinking that they're in a relationship with you and like.
No, I'm not that famous. Like,
Okay.
no, I'm not that. Like, you think from the comedy, like, no, not really. The comedy doesn't get you there with
Well,
that.
you should have better jokes then.
Yeah, I know. If only I was a better comedian, then I would have better stalkers.
Because I'm pretty sure
Unfortunately,
that
it's not.
like some comedians have had that, like somebody being obsessed about them, you know, and falling in love with their personality or something about them, and then just having in their head like an entire storyline when they're together and stuff like that. Because okay, I understand that it happens to people who are super famous, like actors or you know in Hollywood, but I believe that it can be just somebody like even from in Estonia can be like a singer or somebody like.
If I honestly think to my friends in Comedy Estonia, and I honestly think about our social lives and what I know about them and things that have happened to them, and again, counting on that most of the top level guys are all men. So, okay, the man's experience of being a famous performer man in Estonia. There's Ari-Matti. Then there's a big drop, like way to the floor. There's a huge drop. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe Ari gets stalkers. I'm not sure. A huge drop. Then there's a huge drop. Then it's Mikael Meimer. Then maybe. Now Mikael's got a girlfriend. He's a nice guy. He's open about it. So maybe there's one or two chickies who are like, oh, Mikael. And then there's another huge drop to the rest of us. Like, do you not think that Daniel Weinbergs would love a stalker? Like, any of those guys would love a stalker. Some woman, like, you think like, oh, I'm a comedian, loads of chicks are interested. Like, I'm here to tell you right now,
but
beyond Tussi Soyad and besides Sander, because he has a girlfriend, they would all love a stalker.
But here's the thing. In your head, you think that a female stalker is super attractive and, you know, somebody you want to actually do things and hang out. But it can be like some 55-year-old desperate, you know, like I'm just saying there are some really aggressive cougars who really want some.
Yeah, I've been on the Tallink ferry eating my Burger King. I've seen the aggressive cougars.
Yeah. Trust me, when you're like whatever 20 something, you don't necessarily want to date maybe somebody who looks exactly like your mom. You know, it's like, you know, like
not exactly. I mean, close to in the ballpark, but not exactly.
So because I've actually because there was a case at my workplace when I used to work back in the restaurant days.
Was it Finland restaurant or Estonian restaurant?
Estonian restaurant.
Okay, Estonian restaurant.
So I had a cougar, like a 51-year-old woman, who harassed 21-year-olds.
Whoa. What was the 21-year-old man's or young gentleman's job?
They were both like dishwashers because the guy.
They're both working in the kitchen. Okay, equal kind of roles.
Yeah, so the guy was foreigner. Like the guy was not from here. He was a student, Muslim, really like reserved, you know, and used to actually matriarchy, you know, like used to kind of like obeying to women. It was a kind of like weird.
Okay, from a different culture that saw like, men and women relations different.
Like I totally get where he's coming from. It's cool, you know. I did not know what the fuck was going on because he quit just like that, and I was like, why you quit? Like, what's going on? What's the problem? What did I do something because you're getting paid? Like, I was like it was literally just like one day he was like, I don't care about the money. I'm not coming in tomorrow. I don't care. Like he called me and he was upset, and I was like, what I had no idea. And he was like, I don't want to talk to you. And like I was like, what the fuck did I do? And it bothered me for months and months, and I was actually mad at this guy. I was like, fuck you, like you foreign piece of shit coming here, you don't know how to work, you know, like you know, like you don't have any work ethic, you don't know la la la, you know, because I didn't know what the fuck happened. And later I found out I had no idea that this woman who is mentally not stable, let's just say that she was not okay, you know, but like, you know, she was just doing her job. She was working and like, you know, she's just one of the workers, you know. I have like 27 people working for me, and I'm like, okay, you know. And I did not know that she was actually stalking him online, like sending really messed up texts, like really, like you cannot avoid me. We're gonna see each other anyway. Like you should just agree with, you know, like you know, it was really suggestive, really like it was. And this guy freaked the fuck out because he didn't want to go to work to actually change clothes in the wardrobe and like so because she would actually check him.
He's a more modest gentleman who
Yes.
had some problems with that. Okay.
Like it's not a problem because come on, like if you don't want this attention, you shouldn't have it. And
Absolutely.
he felt uncomfortable. He was harassed and he like blocked her online. It was a big drama. When I found out, I was just like, oh hell no, honey. I was like, we're gonna have a talk. I was like, this is not okay. Like harassment is not okay. Like, and she was like, but I'm a woman. I cannot harass actually because you know, like this is not something that women do. I was like, no. It can work both ways. You made somebody in a workplace feel uncomfortable. This is disgusting. You have a son who is the same age. Fuck you. I was like, fuck you. Like you should know better. Like I got so pissed. I was just like, oh my god, like really, I couldn't.
Approximately what was the age of this lady again?
51.
Woo!
And the guy was 21 and he told her, I am not interested. Please stop texting me. I don't want to be with you. I don't like
51.
She was like, I'm not taking no for an answer. I know you want me.
It's already like, I mean, my question is, what are you doing at 51 working in a kitchen?
No, well, she was not well
Okay,
mentally.
that's the problem. Okay, we don't make fun
I don't.
of
I, yeah, I,
okay,
I don't
she was
want
clearly a
to.
bit mentally ill. Okay, so that's
She clearly
yeah.
needed help, and I don't never charge. If you're like okay, you work in a restaurant, whatever. I will never charge you, whatever. Like I don't know your life story, I don't know your backstory, I don't know what's going on. Like for me, I just take you as a person, as a worker. You do a good job. I commend you. Like everything is fine. But the thing was, like I had no idea that actually a person quit because you were harassing him. I was in shock. And the thing was, the guys didn't want to express that this was not the first time.
Right.
So when this scandal happened, I found out. I didn't know about this, but like then the guys were starting to open up. Like, yeah, this is kind of been going on for some time now. But they're men, so they are like, oh, I can protect myself. I don't need somebody to stand up for me. I don't need somebody to talk to her because I can just, say that I'm not interested. But like, it was a real issue. It was a big issue. I did not know that she was that aggressive and, like with her attitude, because she was like, no, like, you are gonna like go out with me. You're gonna fuck me. Or basically, she was like, no, I want you. And like, I don't give a fuck. So trust me, I don't think that Ari wants to fuck like no. So that's my point. Like you think I would want to have a stalker. No, you do not want to have a stalker, honey. I don't care who you are, how old you are, whatever. You don't want to have a stalker, honey. That was the toughest conversation I've ever had as a manager. Talking to a 50, well, I was like 27, talking to a 50-year-old woman about workplace behavior, sexual harassment, and he said, "You're treating me like I'm a criminal." I'm like, "Yeah, this is kind of." Because this is not something that is okay, and he can go to the police. Actually, he can show the texts and like.
Because also, it's not. I think my observation is that we're still not as advanced in Estonia as we should be on these issues, for better or for worse. Now, you could say that there are many countries where it's a little bit like, maybe the man thinks he looks at the woman the wrong way and that's sexual harassment, right? Absolutely, there's balance there. I'm not trying to say that we need to go crazy in one direction, but Australia is much, much further in the, direction of, left, don't do that, me too kind of thing, right? We have all that shit, but level of it. I was 22 or something, whatever. I'm working my first job, IT job in an office, and mostly dudes working in the office, but there's a secretary chick at the front desk. And so I talked to her a little bit, and she's all right, and we talk a little bit, and even when I was on the holiday, we still communicated a little bit. So okay, no, why not? And I swear to God, that was it. But here's the thing, all right. So in the way the office was arranged was that there was a boardroom at the front of the office, and the boardroom had glass walls. So it was glass. Now, the secretary's desk backed onto the glass wall. So behind her, it was glass and then boardroom.
Yeah, okay.
So from the boardroom, we could see the back of her chair. So the problem was that we would go and have a meeting in the boardroom around the big board table, whatever, we're having a meeting. And the way that she would sit is that her whale's tail would come up like right up there. Like the G-banger would be banging right up north. And you could very clearly see the whale's tail through the hole kind of in the back of the chair, through the glass wall, into the boardroom, and we're all sitting there like, we don't know how do we approach this? Because the sort of the culture of sexual harassment was a little bit more advanced. It was a little bit more like, no, you can't do that. We understood this wasn't a good thing to do. And we're like, what do we do here? And I don't know. It's something happened. I don't know what happened. But the boss came to me one day and he said, yo, don't talk to the secretary anymore.
What?
Now, I'm really, in my heart, when I think about it, I'm really confident that I don't believe that I was saying anything. I was just making conversation with her. Was she attractive and I was interested in her? Possibly, yes. But I don't think it was anything too forward. Now,
but you're always friendly, like.
Absolutely. Now, maybe my radar was off. I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the saint here, right?
Okay.
Boss comes to me one day and says, yo, don't talk to her anymore. And I'm like, what now? And he's like, look, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what happened, but he said, like, she's commented about you talking to her. And I'm like, okay. But then he was like, yo, we all know she's showing the whale tail and this is a problem. And again, even my boss is a man. So we're all sitting around like, what do we do with this? And there was no women in the company.
Yeah, to talk to her.
Right, to talk to her. So actually the boss's wife ended up talking to her. She wasn't an employee, but she was still around. She was still a known person in the company.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. So she ended up having a talk to her. And that was the only way that we could, like, I don't want to say morally, but maybe legally, like within Australian laws, think that we could deal with this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, she wasn't working
for me, it's
for
like,
a while longer after that.
Yeah, I get it. But the thing for me is, number one rule, if somebody makes you uncomfortable, like in a workspace, it can be like I've had problems, not even like harassment, but like somebody is making really rude jokes about, okay, I can take a joke, but not every person can.
Sure.
So I don't want to have like a really like hostile environment at work. And when one person is making like all the time jokes and about like all the people, and somebody feels really like offended and stuff, then I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna, that's something you need to tell your manager, say like, hey, I'm not okay with this. I feel really super self-conscious and like insecure, and then this person making fun of me. I'm not okay with this. And then the manager should step in. In this case, I also there was some misunderstanding, something.
Right, cultural things are going on there, how we interpret it versus the Estonian way of interpreting it.
So but I think that this is the part, even whatever, if you're a female, like when I was a female manager, I struggled because some of my male coworkers didn't take me seriously. They didn't want to talk to me, like, just talk to me. What is the problem? And no, everything is okay, la la la. And I'm like, because I'm a female and I had to really, like, I was really fighting for it. I was like, can you just, because they were like talking to the other male coworkers and complaining to them, and like I was like, how am I supposed to resolve this issue if I don't know what the fucking issue is? I'm not 24 hours there. Like I don't see what's going on. We have like 2 floors and whatever, like, so I need communication and I need honesty, and I need you to be honest with me. And if you tell me that there is some problem, trust me, I will do my best for my abilities to find a way to fix it and resolve this issue. And usually when I sit down with somebody and I really say like, hey, this is what happened, like, and I try to make them understand the other perspective of the person. Now if this person is normal, they will understand that, okay, I crossed some line. I shouldn't flirt, I shouldn't make jokes, I shouldn't do this. Okay, usually people understand. Now if this person is really unstable and not okay, then because I have fired a lot of people during my career, then sometimes you have to take really extreme measures because they need to have the lesson that it's not okay to harass, to mock somebody, to like whatever, make them feel uncomfortable or whatever. And for me, like really this sexual harassment case with this woman was really, I took it really serious. I was like, I do not care that you're a woman. Like, no, there's no solidarity between us. I was like, no, honey. If you cross the line, you cross the line. I don't care who the fuck. You can be the fucking Madonna. I don't give a fuck what, like, you do not harass my workers. That's not okay. And if no is no, it doesn't matter. Like, never. Like, I remember.
It's important. I for me, because I think that when I came to Estonia, I have noticed, I would say again, my own observation, overall, that the kind of spoken and unspoken social rules about sexual harassment in the workplace, about how you act, and about how you are, they seem a little bit looser.
Absolutely.
Now, absolutely, that's changing. Absolutely, that's getting better for sure. I'm not trying to say that. I just was only because Australia, we were so... Like, we were all sitting in the boardroom going, what do we do with this? We all understood instinct. Like, we weren't like, ugh. I mean, okay, a little bit. We were like, ugh. But we were like, ugh. Wait. We know there's a lawsuit coming.
Yeah.
Like, we know something's going to happen. People for already years in Australia were being sued and shit and all kinds of lawsuits, and we can see this coming. And we're like, how do we negotiate our way out of this?
But here's the thing. Like, the biggest issues that I've heard, like, I'm so lucky that I never had this problem at my workplace. But the thing is, like, when you're like 20, you have your first job, you work somewhere, and you have a boss who is, like, let's say, a guy in his 50s or something, and they think it's okay to make comments and like, and like touch you and like really, and it was like a really like, and I've heard people like my friends complain about that and stuff. And the thing was like, it wasn't like between coworkers. The harassment came from upstairs. So who you're gonna complain when your fucking owner or the boss like literally is harassing you? What the fuck? And because Estonia, the laws are like, they are what they are. They're nothing basically. So like, it's really complicated. Like, do you have the money to actually sue this guy?
Yeah, like, no.
No, you don't have. Like, you have a shitty job. You get the minimum wage. You're trying to best in like, like.
What I don't understand is a businessman. Okay, if I think about my own business, now certainly I have been programmed by this Australian thing, for better or for worse, probably for better, but for better or for worse, I've been programmed by this Australian way of like, don't you fucking dare, because this is gonna be a big problem for you. I've been so programmed by this that now I just am completely unable to do that. Like, I don't, like, I'm just like turn off with my coworkers in that work situation. There's just nothing. Because not only because I'm like, oh, do I want to be a good citizen? Yes, I do. Sure. Like, yeah, absolutely. Do I want to be a good Boy Scout? But like, I don't want to, I've spent a lot of time making sure that employee is good. I don't want to fuck it up so that employee leaves. I've worked hard for that.
But the thing is, like, there was like so many cases that they have just gotten away with it.
You're a stupid businessman. That's what you are. You're a stupid, like, not even a stupid man. You're a stupid businessman. Stupid business person. If you, even business person for fucking up the workplace with your dick. Go and get your dick somewhere else. I completely understand. You need to get your dick little fucking scrub and shine. No problems. I get it. I understand it. Don't do it in the workplace. There's got to be like so many other places.
Yeah, because for me it's like, you get your like 21-year-olds like just fresh off of college, and you're like 50-year-old. Trust me. They don't want to fuck you. Like, trust me, those girls don't want, like, they are not turned on by your saggy ass, okay? Like, they don't. I know this is shocking, okay? But it's like, and for me, because I remember I was actually, like, in a conference literally, I was in a conference, and then there was a guy, he was working for like a local government, like in a city, like in the city in Estonia, blah, blah. He has had this job for 30 years. He's like, you know, a puppy and blah, blah, blah. And he was making the so offensive as sexist jokes from the 70s. I was like, whoa, wow. I was so uncomfortable just listening to his jokes. I was like, I would never want to work with this guy ever, because he was like, you know, some like the mother, some like the daughter. It was like,
dang, zinger, some like the daughters. Oh yeah.
Like, you obviously like everybody, like, it's like, I was like, motherfucker, like, nobody likes you, honey. Let me tell the news, honey.
This place that I worked at, where there was the young lady working at the front desk, that particular office that we had, this other office had one other thing that was fucked up about it. Again, a lot of glass walls, a lot of glass that you could see through. So the way the building was, there was the level above us, there was some steps and there was a glass wall. So you could see, like, if people had to go to the office above, we were like floor 1 or whatever, you could see them walking up the steps to whatever it was, right? Now,
oh my God.
Now, what would happen is you could see the people walking up and down, and we knew it was like a doctor's surgery and shit. And we were like, whatever, people are coming and going, it's cool. So we would see them. We would just see all these people walking up and down. Now, after a while, we started to notice, we were like, yo, here's the pattern. The pattern is that a young man and a young woman walk up the stairs together. And then sometime later, that young man and that young woman walk back down the stairs again, but she's not doing well. And he's comforting her. Like, that was the pattern. Because we're sitting there programming all day. We got nothing else to do, right? Mm-hmm. And we were like, that's a weird doctor's surgery. Mm-hmm. And this is happening on like a daily basis. And so then we decided, well, what the fuck is happening in the floor above us? And we eventually worked out it was the abortion clinic.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh. And not only that, that experience has happened to you as a young couple, whatever your situation might be. And if we can see you, they can see us. You've got to walk down those steps, and we're sitting there like,
that's literally the walk of shame.
That is literally the walk of shame. And we didn't know. Like, after that, we were like trying to be cooler about it.
That is the worst thing.
Yeah, and it was this moment. It was an emotional thing because you could see the pure emotion coming out of these people. Because we felt it at first. We're like, yo, what the fuck's happening? They've been through something.
Like, you can see,
Yeah. And we're just sitting there coding our shit, you know, doing our coding stuff, right? We're dumb little IT guys. We don't know nothing.
Wow.
That was this is the story we were talking about before the show. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to dig us out of the abortion story.
Otherwise, I'm gonna make some really bad abortion jokes.
I need to.
I actually did like 2 or 3 abortion jokes at Von Graal like 3 years ago, and I had people coming out like, Sille, that's not okay.
No, abortion's wrong.
I was like, abortion is okay. Yeah, but your jokes are not.
So that same job, when I was sitting there, this is unrelated to the abortion, unrelated to the chick at the front desk.
Okay.
So
wow,
I'm a little like web programmer doing web pages, back end, shit like that, right? And our client was Johnson & Johnson, who make the pharmaceuticals, make some of the maybe the beauty products that you young ladies might use, right? A big international company. And we were making a promo.
No tears, right?
No tears, exactly.
No
exactly.
tears.
There's
we
many
all know.
different products that
we
Johnson &
all
Johnson
know that
make.
no tears, but it actually made you cry because I tried. I was the one person who always tried. It doesn't make you cry.
What were you preparing yourself for later in life, Sille? It doesn't make me cry.
Estonian men.
It doesn't make me cry. Daddy.
What? Don't talk about my daddy. You don't know him, and also I don't know him.
Like, Dang.
That should be a show like Sille finding out who is daddy. Then it's Jüri Ratas. I'm like, fuck. Can you imagine? Like, I would be like,
I am your father. Minä olen isä.
I was adopted. Fuck you.
So, okay. In this IT company, we're working for Johnson & Johnson. They said, we're going to make a little website. There's like a little promotional website to help sell some of the products that Johnson & Johnson sell for young ladies when they're in that time, to help educate young ladies when they're coming into that time of their life and the products that they might need to help them with.
When they're gonna start to have their period.
Have a period, yeah, right.
Yeah, you can just...
Right, yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm fucking 22, like, okay, we're gonna code some shit. And one of the things on this Johnson & Johnson website was something called the period planner. And so the period planner on the Johnson & Johnson website was a calendar that you could go and you could put in. Remember, this is like 2002, right? Primitive technology. You could enter the date of one period. You could enter the date of the next period. And then some other date in there. And I don't know, some of the shit. You could enter a couple things. And then it would produce a 12-month calendar showing you when you will have your period. And and I had to code. My job to code was to make this beautiful, pretty pink calendar it's a calendar with squares and grids and shit like that. And on the days that were going to be your period days, as the algorithm had worked it out, there were little butterflies.
Aw.
Just little butterflies, just like that's the butterfly day now. We're having the butterfly.
Because that's the opposite of what actually happens. But
Right. I was like, yo, can we have angry tigers? But no, we went with butterflies in the end. And now, these days, it's 2020. We're talking about AI. We're talking about deep learning. We're talking about how the computers know us better than we know ourselves. This was 18 years ago in 2002.
shit, 18 years ago.
Right. And they're like, and so they said, here's the algorithm. And it basically was, here's if you entered the day one happened, how long it went for, the day the next one happened, it repeated that exact thing for the next 12 months. And I was like, yo, I'm 22 and a stupid young man, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen exactly the same. Can I add like a little randomness, maybe a day here and there? They were like, Johnson & Johnson were like, no, you make it exactly. And I'm like, okay, boss, you're the boss.
But did you have somebody who had a medical background?
None. Johnson & Johnson just said, do it that way.
But how do you, I'm like...
Right. If it happened on this day of the month, it lasted for 5 days, and then it happened...
After 3 weeks.
Whatever, then that was the pattern. And I was like...
I wish it was that simple.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I don't know much, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were like, no.
Usually it's like you're sitting in class and you're like, fuck.
So I had to make the period planner.
And that's actually, there was a big controversy with, I think it was called Daisy, the app or something. Like it was called like something like that like women were using because, I know I'm ovulating between these days, like these 2 days per month, I'm ovulating, blah, blah, because this app knows when I'm on my period and when I'm not. And and also like the same idea that they're calculating. And I was like, this is soup. No. Nature does not work like it's not like, it's not the fucking Matrix, okay? Right. So the problem was that women actually got pregnant because it's not a reliable source when something is going to happen to your body. And
you would need much deeper learning, like much deeper algorithmic learning. Like it would need to like come up with more obtuse examples, like, do you like all of a sudden, like every day it shows you like which male do you find attractive, and like when all of a sudden it's like you think Edward from the Twilight is attractive, like no, that's a problem, this is a day. Like when all of a sudden you think, like then it's like, then the app doesn't sound an alert, it just goes like, okay, something's changed today. When you see it needs to give you like this randomized survey of what you feel every day, and then it's working it out from that. Because apparently I'm an expert in women, and so I'm pretty much as stupid as I was when I was 22. Yeah. I don't think the period planner still exists.
No, I don't think so too.
I don't think it's.
There's so many variables that actually affect those kind of things, and it's like I don't think that there's ever gonna be an app that can predict, are you depressed or are you anorexic or are you like going?
Well, it's gonna have to be in you to work it out, like all connected to your brain.
Level, okay, yeah, like
or
actually,
your brain.
Actually, like knowing your hormone levels or something. Yeah, like it has to be super like a chip inside of you. Maybe then, yeah, but otherwise, if you just put some data about yourself, it can always change. It's like,
because I feel like, now that I think about it, I mean, even if a company were to be quite conspicuous and go like, we're going to make the period planner, I don't think that would exist as a thing in 2020. I don't think a company in their right mind trying to protect their image would make the period planner with such basic algorithms in 2020.
Because there's like even I'm almost 30. I'm still learning stuff about it. Like, really, I'm like.
You said you had that therapist on Tissident podcast.
Yeah, we had a gynecologist.
So gynecologist.
3 times actually, because we had so much questions, and we were like, we're gonna ask the stupidest questions. But there's also like young girls, like when they're like 14, 15, sending us questions and emails, just like, hey, I don't have anybody to talk to because.
How does that make you feel that like now you are this through your position? I mean, you've got this podcast. It's quite unique, and you've presented a very unique perspective in Estonia. How do you feel that now that has made you a beacon, almost like a beacon for information? How does that make you feel? Do you feel a responsibility to that?
A little bit, but like I've actually talked a lot with Marianne about this, and we know when somebody has whatever questions, we know how to guide them. Like, okay, we are not the experts, but here's where to turn to, here's where to ask help, because sometimes people like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm going through some stuff, and I'm like, okay, we're not a therapist, we're just providing like entertainment. We talk about serious stuff as well, but like it's just our perspective. We are not the experts, but we can tell you the steps, like who you should approach, what should, like we can give you some guidelines, like where to get help, essentially. And the thing was like, okay, like I understand this is not a comfortable thing to talk about, when especially like some women, like, I don't know if I'm fertile, I don't know about my period, like they have some issues and they're like really, like feeling insecure about those things. And I'm like, our message is, it's okay. You should like know your body, love your body. It's totally fine. And you should find the right person who can give you the answers to your question, like an actual expert, not just having an app on your phone or finding something online and reading and, overthinking things. No. Just don't Google your symptoms or whatever. Like, don't do that shit. Like, actually go to a doctor and explain what's happening. And we always reply to those emails and stuff, and like, hey, okay, we're just a couple of girls trying to figure out shit too. And and I love when we had the gynecologist, because I asked the most dumbest shit about even like genetics or whatever. Like, I asked everything, and it was fun because she was cool. She was like, actually, yeah, like it's okay, because back when you were like in high school or whatever, like they didn't teach you about those things, so you don't actually know. Because I was like, I did not know about those things. I was like, okay, like really, I was really learning stuff, and I was like, wow, I'm like 29 and I'm still learning stuff, and it's not, something that, and also like medicine, everything changes all the time, and there's new stuff coming out, and people have so much like ideas stuck in their head that, no, this is definitely bad, I should never take pills, or whatever, like I should just pray that I don't get pregnant, like whatever. And then there's like, no, there's so many contraceptives, there's like so many options that you can use, and then women don't even know about it. And then like like the gynecologist said that the most common thing what happens is the saddest thing is like, I have like somebody like 35-year-old woman, and they have to ask like, so how do you avoid pregnancy? And she's 35 and she's still saying like, oh, we just pull out. And it's like, wow, like, no. You need to fight, like, no, honey, this is not an, no, this doesn't work. So, like, she was explaining again, and about, like, talking to your partner, going to the doctor's office, and just, you know, like, finding the strength to actually go and talk about uncomfortable things and asking those questions. Because a lot of Estonians, they don't even want to admit even, like, if they are, like, gay or like they have tried some things and they don't want to, you know, and they're feeling uncomfortable, and like the doctors was like, no, you need to say what's going on, so then we know how to help you. We cannot help you if we don't know. And I love that idea that you need to just be honest, and you just, you know. So yeah, and of course, and I'm really happy when like whatever guys or girls, whatever, they send us their stories and they ask questions, because maybe we are the only ones that they are, you know, brave enough to ask. Because I can understand that this can be so awkward and you can feel so embarrassed, and it's, you want to keep your, you know, anonymity and just be like, you know, just.
Yeah, I mean, how do we? I mean, you guys are doing a great job, and don't get me wrong, but it does feel like, as society and people, we shouldn't have to rely on two chicks doing a podcast to make it happen.
Agree.
Like, it feels like this should be something else. I
agree.
know, you know,
I agree.
some other system in there.
Absolutely.
But I don't even know how that would work, or how we bring that in, because the teachers are all old and cruddy and fucking 70 and they don't want to talk about that shit. And even that is hard. And parents don't want to talk about it. Oh my God. I don't think my mother listens this far in. They never even told me how to shave, let alone anything about the birds and the bees. Ooh. You know, like in terms of what can we express as a family and stuff like that. So families can't even do it.
Yeah, and I think that there's something like, you should never be ashamed of being a human, you know. It's part of a human experience to go through these things. And, you know, yes, your body's changing, yes, you're gonna have some weird shit, you know, you're gonna have hair growing out of your ass and you're like, fuck, I need to go and wax my.
It's gonna happen quite a lot. Actually, hair growing out of my ass.
Yeah, I wax mine. So it's like, you know,
I got the clippers, baby. You got those electric clippers. You give it zzz.
No, I pay somebody to do that.
Okay, well, first of all, see, here's the double standard with guys, right? I sincerely hope there is no gentleman out there who pays somebody to wax their nether regions, right?
Why
Testicles and above. Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Who cares?
You're paying, like, first of all, the balls, really? The balls? You getting it's one thing to be.
Okay, so you think it's different to like wax somebody's clitoris, or, you know, like
Yeah.
so
sure.
I'm like what's the difference? It's just like about like it's just you're part of your body.
Just get the clippers. and this is a regret. I do give a shout out to I just left university when I was 22, 23, living in a share house. And there was that one time that I needed to clip my balls, and I used my flatmate's clippers. Yeah, Nick. I'm sorry about that, Nick. I know
bitch.
Nick might even be listening, because I know Nick has a Lithuanian wife these days. So right on, Nick.
That is so gross.
Did use your clippers to shave my balls once when I was at the end of university. Nevertheless, you know, maybe you just give them the zzz, and you don't need to do the, you know, the shaving. I don't know. Anyway, for guys, you know, that you want to. No, actually, I will. Okay, all right. Oh, fuck, maybe.
Do you have a point?
No, except to describe my male landscaping procedure.
8 balls.
Right. No, the top bit is.
Okay, I can understand. You don't like somebody flipping things around there and
Sure,
getting.
but I will. Here's the thing: is like the top bit is with the electric thing, right. But the ball sack is done with the razor. I get more whatever, like little nicks and cuts.
Yeah.
From the electric thing up
Really?
top. Balls, never a problem. just the razor just goes right over them. Just cleans it right up. You get these nice, like hairless, just perfect. And the other areas that you they sometimes get like occasionally if you're not watching. Where was I going with this? Talking about my male shaving.
I find it really fascinating because I've never heard the males because when with my girlfriends we always talk about like do you wax, do you don't, like la la la, and it's really common to talk about it, and like some of my girlfriends are really like we would never wax because they don't trust another person to do that. It's like it's not.
There's two issues there. I mean, there's I don't trust another person to be downstairs, and holy shit, that's painful. That's two different reasons.
But the thing was, when I started doing it, I found out actually that your skin gets used to the trauma. So after like the third time or whatever, you're like, yeah, it's okay. Like it's not that bad. It's fine. Like it's like, like the first time is always it was like I cried and shit. I wanted to kick the shit out of this fucking service. I was like, fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna. and it's weird because you're bare-assed in front of another, like you're. Like, I don't know her. Like, and she's up in all my JJ, like,
Sure, right up in that shit. She got
and with hot wax, it's, yeah. And she also has to move my legs and stuff around. It's like, it's...
Please, let me write some notes. Move legs around. Oh, this is good. This is good stuff.
And it's like, can I get a different angle? So like, it's like, and I'm like, and it's weird to be even like you don't maybe date and stuff, and you're really exposed to someone like okay, and she's with hot wax, like.
But it's always a she at least.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a man? Is there possibly a man who does this job?
I don't know. I have never met one.
I want to meet this gentleman and interview him. Like such balls. To say like, yeah, I run the female beauty wax salon. What's up?
It's probably gay.
True. Okay. True.
Because the thing is like, one of my friends, he's a tattoo artist, and I've asked him, of course, all the stupid questions and stuff, and I always ask him like, have you ever had a customer who wants a tattoo on his dick? Or ass or like whatever, like or even like women who wants that too, like somewhere like on her pussy or whatever. And he said like, Sille, like, yeah, absolutely, I've had those customers. And I'm like, did you agree? And he's like, of course. And I was like, well, I was also shook. I was like, okay, like, but how do you feel? And he was like, well, it's like, like I see naked bodies day in and day out. People have tattoos like in their ribs and stuff, and they're naked, like.
So there's no body part he wouldn't tattoo.
Yeah. So he was like, it's just a body. It's just for me. Okay. It's actually like morbid, or like like morbid. What's it called? Like it's like it's like an artist with a canvas.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
like,
sure. He's a professional.
And he told me like, like it's like when you go to a doctor's office, you never feel uncomfortable, getting naked because the doctor has seen everything and more and more and more and more and more.
Let me tell you, the first time I ever had a sexual disease check, and you should. I've had a couple and clean all of them. But the first time I ever had the check was in Sweden. That always comes back to my Swedish.
Every time.
She insisted because it was almost like when I got on the system in Sweden, I got on the system eventually, and I got the number, the ISO code for Sweden, right?
Social
Security. I got on the number. The first fucking thing she was like, "It's free, go," because you're on the system, and I had to have a male doctor. Okay. So whatever, male, female, doesn't matter. But not only was it a male doctor, it was a really attractive male Swedish doctor. Like, oh yeah, I am Sven, the doctor. Yes, ooh. I am very look after my health. I am from Sven from Stockholm. And then Sven from Stockholm has my balls in his hand, and he is, he's got to weigh them, and then he's got to do with the cotton tip. He's got to wave it around. Things are only supposed to come out of there, not go in. But Sven, he made things happen. And he made things happen. And so Sven was there. He did his thing, and I had the test. And what happened was, what was it? They were like, yo, you can call us to find out the result.
Oh, they don't call you?
Yeah, I forget how it was. Like you
because
call
usually
us,
it's like they call you and they say...
No, they were like, you can call us to find the result.
Okay.
But then they were like, but I heard through, for lack of a better term, back channels. I heard through, word of mouth that if there's something wrong, they're going to call you in.
Yeah, because
I called, I called on a Friday and I was like, yo, am I clean? They're like, you're going to have to come in so the doctor can speak to you. And I was like, what did Dr. Sven do to me? I ain't done nothing. I ain't touched nothing. I didn't touch nobody. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't prove nothing, right? I was Bart Simpson. I was like, you can't prove anything. And I had to wait a whole weekend. And I got to like tell my girlfriend this. And she's like, you fucking fuck. And I'm like, I didn't. And then I go in on Monday and the doctor was like, yeah, you're clean. I'm like, what? They're like, no, the doctor just had to tell you. That's just how. I'm like, God.
Because usually in Estonia, it's like they call you, and if there's a problem with your test, they're gonna call you in. But if it's okay, they're gonna just be like, you're okay. Oh.
The last time. Oh, it's Roger. A few minutes. You, Roger Andre. I did get a sexual test in Estonia, and I swear to God, my doctor, my peda-asked, who I have been assigned, and she's pretty decent, right on. My peda-asked, I said, yo, I need a sexual test. She's like, really? Like,
no, she did not say that.
Yeah, she's like, you need another one of those? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, have you done anything bad? And I'm like, not really. She's like,
it doesn't matter.
All right, fine. And I got that thing. And once again, maybe I just like having them. So I can be like, yes, clean again. 72 weeks in a row.
Staying alive.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. We need to wrap it up, I think.
We do need to wrap it up. God, we got to the good shit in the end, didn't we?
Like we got a best comment, I think.
Yeah, shaving balls and stuff and sexual health.
If you want to hear more about my waxing, tune in this Sunday to Tissident episode. We're gonna have Tissident.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah,
have you recorded it and it's gonna be on Sunday?
We're gonna be back on studio tomorrow recording it. Yes.
Nice.
Mariana has so much stories about Tinder. I cannot wait.
She's been Tindering in the...
I cannot wait. I
heard, I don't know if this is happening. I heard that because video dates are so popular now, that very soon Tinder is integrating video into the app. So you can like Tinder straight from, you can video straight from the Tinder app. I've heard because now like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So...
Even I did it. So.
You did it?
I did on online dates.
Okay.
And... it wasn't awkward at all. I was surprised. I was surprised because I was like, I'm Sille-Kadri Simer. I'm at my home drinking beer. I don't give a fuck. Nice. I was in sweatpants and stuff. I was like,
well, that's nice that you can just be relaxed and
because I didn't feel any pressure.
Because otherwise, like a job interview, you know.
I don't feel any pressure because I was like, I'm sitting at home, bitch. I can just whoop turn. If I don't like you, I'm like, bye. Just one click and just.
How do you feel about that? That like straight up, you could just be like, see you later, like because you can't do that on a date, you know.
Well, you can, but it's super awkward.
Oh yeah,
I've done that. I have run away, but I don't recommend that.
You don't recommend? Okay.
So you don't feel good about it, but like online, it's like bye.
Okay. All right.
So anyway.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for another week of Louis and Sille-Kadri. Check out the Tissident episode that's going to be up very soon. Check out all the comedy and stuff. Thank you very much, guys. We haven't got a cooler board this afternoon. Carl's having a break. Okay, that's cool. Okay. But soon. All right.
Thank you so much.
See you later, guys. All right. Bye-bye. End stream.